Hey Froglings, been a minute, I know. Life's been crazy for me over the last year, but I'm still here, and since my college project is review 2 video games and then compare them, why not do it here? For my first game, I'm gonna just do the entire Frog Detective series. I know the instructions say one game, but it's hard to just do one of them with them being closely interlaced like they are. They're basically one game as it is. I've played them for the channel already from a request and fell in love with the franchise, so I'm really excited to talk about it today. My other game, which is required to be under the cozy genre, is going to be LemonCake. I have a fair bit of hours on it, and I think it's both nostalgic in its gameplay and relaxing in its art style. And indie games are an obvious soft spot for me, given my channel, and pretty much everyone knows of Unpacking and Stardew Valley. So let's dive a bit into the lesser known games that deserve a spotlight. Frog Detective is a series of games released between Frog Detective is a series of games released between 2018 and 2022, and it was developed by the Worm Club. It's a linear adventure mystery game that focuses heavily on its simple but fun storyline and interesting cast of colorful characters. The games are available on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox, and Switch. They're also available via Game Pass for those who are subscribed to it. As of writing this, they're actually doing pre-orders for their first run of physical copies as well. It has a fairly low replayability value, unfortunately, but it is fairly accessible for folks as it has both controller and mouse and keyboard function and subtitles. Unfortunately, there isn't voiceover or colorblind features for those who need it. Something to note though, it is family friendly, so folks with young ones wanting to play can enjoy them too. The game is also extremely affordable at only $13.47 US on Steam for all 3 games. So if you're interested, I would grab the bundle. I'm pretty sure I got them before the bundle even existed, so it's nice to see that it's an option now. Generally speaking, the reviews are all positive. From Steam to Metacritic, you'll see everyone raving positives about the game. Sure, there's a few negative reviews, but what game doesn't have those? Development on the first game began during Grace Bruxner's final year of university, according to an interview from Games Hub, and continued throughout the following 4 years. She was one of the main directors of the game, alongside Thomas Boker. Together, they formed the development team Worms Club. Worms Club had been one of the first to sign with publisher Superhot Presents, and soon following after, they had the famous music producer Dan Goulding on the OST, and later on, Olivia Haynes for 3D assets. When Frog Detective 1 released, it was a huge win for the indie scene. The game won multiple awards, and as of 2022, had sold over 500,000 copies. The games were a lot of firsts for Bruxner, as according to the ABC article, she hasn't had a lot of experience with writing in the more formal comedy style that she went with, but her attempt paid off well enough, considering that each character is extremely memorable and fun in their own rights. She wasn't actually planning to continue Frog Detective, but it blew up like it did, so she pressed on with enthusiasm to bring us 2 more games. There's been mention of wanting to turn it into a show series, but to my knowledge, that hasn't really went farther as of now. Fingers crossed we eventually get some kind of series of Frog Detective beyond just the games, although I'm really happy even if they do stop there. Discussing gameplay, all 3 have little tie-ins to each other. The first game introduces us to Frog Detective and friends, and we have to figure out the mysteries of the seemingly haunted island. As you explore and interact with other characters, you'll be given tasks and hints as to what all is going on. You'll also get a good feel for the simplistic graphic style, which I think works really nicely for the game, since all the games are simple in mechanics. You talk to someone, get a quest, do the thing, come back and give it to them, typical fetch questing. To avoid spoilers, you'll end up finding out the island isn't as haunted as everyone believed. And then the transition to the next game begins. You'll get a phone call that tells you that your next mission will be an invisible wizard. The gameplay is the same for the second, just in a different place with new characters and a couple of recurring ones. And a new addition is there, the journal. It's really nice for if you need to take a step back and pick up your progress, considering that at times you might have more than one active task. The color scheme is much darker, which makes it feel a little bit less fun and happy and more mystical and mysterious, but the jokes are still there to keep the mood light and fresh. Once you pick up the final game is when things change a little. The story is a lot more vast than the others are, and the conclusion feels like a true proper ending to the trilogy. The games are overall very fun, and I think it's a worthwhile game series to pick up if you have a few hours to kill and want to become immersed in a cute mystery with a funny frog. LemonCake is a cozy indie cafe simulator game developed by Cozy Bee Games. It released officially in 2021 and is available on all major consoles and storefronts, as well as Game Pass. It runs a lot like a 2000s time management game, but for the modern day, and with cuter graphics and friendly ghosts. It's $14.99, so it's about the same price as all 3 Frog Detective games combined. It has fairly high replayability due to the simplicity of the gameplay and storyline, and the game itself being a very it never really ends type of game. The accessibility, unfortunately, is limited depending on what you play on, as Steam's controller support is really iffy with it. The game itself is also family friendly, so anyone of all ages can enjoy it. The reviews on this game are also quite positive, but due to it being such a small indie game, much lesser than Frog Detective. There's more negative reviews, some I kind of agree with, but nothing that makes it a truly bad game. Cozy Bee Games was developed in 2021 by Eloise Laroche. I'm sorry if I butchered that. There's not a ton of information out there about the development of the game itself, but I know just from following the developer since they first released Bunny Park, that it was one of their early releases and one of their more fully fledged out games. Bunny Park and Capybara Spa are both idle games with small amounts of gameplay, where LemonCake is a lot more hands-on with time management aspects and less idling around. According to an article from its publisher, which I cannot say the name, so I'm putting it up here, Eloise hopes that it will bring a sense of nostalgia for those who played those types of games. Before you even get into the game, the character creation screen is really nice. Simple, to the point, and I really am happy to see more games including character creation nowadays. It really lets you feel connected with what you're doing. The game itself is very easy. You open the store, get your ovens hot, make delicious treats for your customers. It's the micromanaging that adds difficulty to it, which makes it a lot of fun. You have to clean and feed animals, keep your plants watered, keep food coming out to the customers, clean the floors, keep the ovens going, clean the tables, and at the end of the day, you'll occasionally have to pick up some bugs for bonuses. The days are relatively short as well, and as a former Starbucks barista, it really does feel like you're working in a busy little cafe. While you're doing all this, you're following the storyline of restoring this old cafe to its former glory. At the start of each day, you'll have the chance to get upgrades for either your apartment, your restaurant itself, and sometimes you'll get pets. Don't forget the cats. I personally think this game is worth checking out to play, even if just for a couple of hours on an off day. The game really does play almost like that mobile casual game that you can pick it up and put it down just about anywhere. Sometimes I'll pull it out on my Switch when I'm waiting for doctor's appointments. I think both games show how simplicity can sometimes be ideal. Both would fall under cozy in my opinion, but some would disagree. I really like these simplistic types of games though. If you follow my long play channel, you'll see a lot of old school time management games on there for a reason. Doesn't help that my friends keep asking me to finish the Frog Detective games on the channel. Who knows? Maybe I might? A way to find the socials for both of these games and their respective developers will be linked below if you're interested. They all use Twitter, and I think they're really fun to go through once in a while if you need a break from the media overload that is Twitter. Also, come follow my new Twitter. I deleted my old one because I just needed a detox from social media after a lot of stuff happened. So I hope to catch you guys on there. And with that, I believe I've covered everything I need to. So I hope to see you guys in another video soon, and thank you all for watching.